Labyrinth and Dark World were not the only new Fiend decks to receive support. We actually had one of the most powerful support cards I've ever seen released for the Evil Eye archetype. Now, the archetype itself isn't actually new. It's been a Master Duel pretty much since the game came out, but it hasn't really seen any play because ultimately it's not that good. However, this new card that they got, Evil Eyes Unleashed, I'm not sure if they got anything else, but even just this card by itself is crazy strong. Basically, it's a double Foolish Burial. You get to send an Evil Eye monster and an Evil Eye spell or trap card from your deck to the graveyard to grab an Evil Eye equip spell directly from deck to hand. And that's not even counting its secondary effect, where if you link summon an Evil Eye monster, you can banish this from the grave to quick play equip onto it an equip spell from the graveyard. Now, why does that matter? Well, the way the deck works is your deck revolves around the equip spell, the Evil Eye of Selene, because so long as this is equipped onto one of your Evil Eye monsters, it can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects and cannot be targeted by card effects, which makes it essentially very difficult to remove. So the new spell card Evil Eyes Unleashed makes the spell card Evil Eyes of Selene significantly more consistent. This is the deck we were playing in the Monster Festival. We also have a ranked video of this deck coming up soon. This was my first exposure to Evil Eye, so there may be misplays here and there that, or sort of plays you may look at and may want to optimize. This is just the list we were playing. If you see any plays you do better, absolutely give me a shout in the comments or in the Discord. But either way, I think I did pretty good. The deck really isn't that complicated. There are certain plays I didn't figure out until later. Like, I didn't realize at first that Basilius was such a powerful card. I didn't realize this card was a one-card combo. But it is, right? So I probably would have bumped this up to 3 because this card's pretty nuts as well. But either way, I'm not going to ramble here at the beginning. We're going to do a deck profile at the end of the video. I guess on YouTube it's that way. But we're going to do that at the end. A couple of games coming up here just to show off sort of how the deck works, sort of our first experiences with it. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, interested in this style of content, anything else that we do here, be it stream, tournament coverage, whatever, subscribe. You know, it doesn't cost you anything. Might as well. And like the video if you enjoy what you're watching. Let's get into it. Alright, now I'm just going to give a quick heads up. There may be misplays as we're playing here. Like I said, I was relatively new to the deck at the time of testing, but we are going to have this video as well as another video soon on just a ranked version of the deck, talking about more ideal ways of playing it. But this is definitely going to be a nice little first exposure for people who haven't seen it before, as well as a deck profile for what we've been using specifically in the festival. Now, I didn't narrate any of his plays because we've all seen Labyrinth a bajillion times. What he hasn't seen a bajillion times, though, is this evenly matched. So they're going to go welcome Labyrinth here in response to the evenly matched. I don't know if I... So his plan here is he's going to use this to use the field spell to pop his own lady, so I guess it doesn't get banished and he gets to keep it face down. Fair enough. Chandelier activating in the graveyard, adding itself back to hand, I guess. We're going to go main phase 2 here, activating the field spell grabbing us a Basilius. Now, Sergio on normal summons going to search your deck for a spell or trap card. Basically searches for any Evil Eye card, adds it from deck to hand. We're going to grab Evil Eyes Unleashed, and this is where it gets pretty nutty. This card is insane. We're going to send these 2 cards to the grave. You want to send Ballistrous because this card can special summon itself from the graveyard, as well as do a quick link during your opponent's turn, just like IP Masquerena. And you need to send a spell card. This card can banish itself from the graveyard in order to search your deck for any one of your cards. I actually think... I vaguely remember me forgetting to do it here. So he's going to go Ace Dragon's Prison. He's going to target our Ballistrous. Our Ballistrous can quick play special summon itself from the grave. So he loses his AC Prison target. We're going to grab Selene off of our spell. We're going to special summon out the Basilius. We're going to send another card from our deck to the graveyard. We're going to go Triple D Stone King Darius. Darius then ranking itself up into Machinix. I love the Machinix line in this deck. We're going to equip Selene onto our Serziel. And we're going to pass because I forgot I could attack. Our opponent played so poorly that I forgot it was even turn 2. We're going to go into our turn here. We're going to activate Evil Eyes Unleashed. We're going to call that a homie drop, right? We gave him a chance to play the game. We're going to grab Gorgiano. Gorgiano, it doesn't have the... I may be mispronouncing this, by the way. Gorgonio. I'm assuming that's in reference to a Gorgon, as in like Medusa, like the other Evil Eye card. Gorgonio. And this card basically just boosts one of your Evil Eyes by the difference between your life points and your opponent's life points, so long as your life points are lower, right? And its name becomes Evil Eye of Selene on the field, which is relevant for some of your other card effects. We're going to take out his monster Machinix, 36 to the face off of our Serziel. We're going to special summon Ballistrous back just to get an extra 1k in there, the cheeky 1k damage. And we're going to pass to our opponent. Let's see if our opponent has any plays to make. Again, we're not using the Gorgiano in the graveyard because we've got a full field, right? We do attempt to go quick link here. So the reason we attempted the quick link is Zerziel has the ability to pop special summon monsters, but Zerziel, the link monster, has the ability to pop any card. So my plan was to start popping back row, but he used a back row to stop my summon, so it ended up working out anyway, right? So it is what it is. We're going to draw in the evenly matched here. Not much we can do with that. 26 to the face, though. They're going to go for Big Welcome Labyrinth, summoning out Lab from the graveyard, bouncing it back to hand. I'm assuming they're going to summon it to the field here again. But it really doesn't matter. You're going to see. They're going to summon out Lady here, adding the Chandelier back to their hand. Back it goes. We're just going to use Zerziel's effect here. Zerziel activates, pop the Lady, swing directly. Big dubs. Right? It's that easy. So basically, your monster just becomes towers with a quick play pop once per turn. You've also got your link plays. You've also got the Machinix lane, which is really, really cool. You can go into that lane more often than you would think. All you need is any 2 level 3s. Usually it's your Basilius, because Basilius can just special summon itself from hand, which is amazing. Ballistrus as well is a really good one. And the reason it is so good is because if you're attaching them on to Stone King Darius, and then in the Machinix, whenever they get detached, they go back to the graveyard, which means they don't get banished. So you can reuse them from the graveyard again, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, really good game. Showing off some of the basics. Let's get in the game too. Already getting into game 2 here, and again, yeah, pretty solid hand. We're going to normal summon the Zerziel. This is where you want to sort of be in most games. Unfortunately, Zerziel getting negated here is a little bit of a pain, but it doesn't leave us without options. What we're going to need to do here instead is special summon the Basilius here. Basilius is going to pitch the spell card to the grave. We do have Selene in hand, and at this stage, like I said, I was still a little bit new to the deck. Because I had Selene on the field, I was happy enough sort of keeping this guy in hand for next turn for follow-up. I didn't really want to discard it off of this. What we could have done there is we could have activated Gorgiano and Grave, banish it, discard Zerziel to search our deck for a Evil Eye spell or trap. We could have grabbed the counter trap for an additional negate. I was a little bit greedy. I wanted to keep this in hand. That is a bad play. Do not do that. Absolutely use the Evil Eye card in the graveyard. 100%. Now we're going to go standby phase here. Me and phase 1 going 1 for 1 here. 1 for 1 dropping Tomas. Going to summon a DD Savant Kepler. Kepler going to search for Dark Contract with the Gate. Dark Contract with the Gate. I don't know why I can't speak today. It's going to search the deck for Double D Griffin. Griffin then special summoning itself out to the field. They're going to use these two to go into the Abyss King Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh then activating to put 2 skills onto the field. Now we're going to go Cosmic Cyclone, banishing the Ragnarok. Now this is a huge choke point for the Double D strategy. Again, we played this deck recently on stream, recently in a video. They are still able to use Orphos here. They're going to pop our Selene, but before that, we're going to use our Zerziel to pop their Orphos. We might as well, because we can't after our Selene is gone. Getting rid of Selene. Copernic is making its way out, sending Necroslame, Triple Ds, showing that they can play through anything. They're going to go into Flame High King Genghis here, before going into Divisor King over their monster there. 1400 into the face here over Zerziel. They're going to take out our Ballistrus as well. And didn't swing for the cheeky 0 attack points. I appreciate that. And now it's actually a good thing that we held on to our Zerziel. We're going to open up with Lightning Storm, wiping the board of monsters. Get them out of here. Normal summon the Zerziel. Zerziel going to grab us a Ballistrus from the deck. We're going to use Selene and Grave, paying 1,000 life points, banishing a card to set itself back to the field here. Selene then activating and equipping on the monster. Ballistrus summoning itself out to the field, swinging directly for 16. Just getting a little bit of chip in, and we've set up our towers and our destruction. So we're in a pretty solid position here. Our opponent does not have the ability to draw into anything playable. I guess maybe they're just counting on being able to survive a couple of extra turns here. We're going to go battle phase 16 and 1k to the phase. We're going to chip our opponent down bit by bit, gradually going Evil Eye defeat. They're going to go Dark Contract with the Gate. They're going to pop a card on our field. Sorry, Dark Contract with the Witch this one is, isn't it? It is, yes. Dark Contract with the Witch, inflicting 1,000 points of damage here, ending the turn. Unfortunately, Double D's unable to pull out the win up against Evil Eye 1016. There you go. I mean, there's the power of playing a billion blue-white cards. A billion blue-white cards in a powerful normal summon. Like, what more do you want, right? We play so many, like, big, massive sort of blue-white cards. And the reason being, in this event, obviously most hand traps are illegal, so you don't have a ton of hand traps to play. and your engine is really small. Like, you have a lot of room, and you gotta fill it with something. So why not fill it with a bunch of lightning storms or evenly matches, right? I mean, what else are you gonna do with it? Let's get into the next game. Alrighty, getting into the third game. Don't know why I blanked there for a second. We're gonna go Serziel again. Getting lucky with the Serziel. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not like, I know sometimes it can seem it. I'm not actually going through to like cherry pick games. We just got really lucky. Like, I don't know why. We just happen to have Serziel a lot. There's a lot of ways of searching Serziel as well, like the field spell searches for him and stuff. So you can usually get your hands on this guy. It's not as if it's a massive issue. But we just got lucky and we opened up with him. Grab the spell card, pitch 2, grab the Selene, activate Selene, equipping on, activate the Ballistrous, pitching Selene here. We're going to go the cat card, engrave, summon it. Going to go Gorgiano, engrave, discarding a Ballistrous, grabbing ourselves the counter trap. Activating Reawakening here, which is a little bit unnecessary, but I wanted to set up a Darius lane here as well. We're going to go into the Gorgon Empress. I guess we're going Gorgon, actually. We're going to banish our Awakening from the grave, equipping Selene onto the Gorgon, which basically makes it a monster negate. We're able to bring back the Ballistrous from the graveyard, using those two to go into Triple D Stone King Darius. I don't know why I didn't show this off as game 1. This game is pretty damn impressive. And this is the board, right? Look at this board. This is about as combo heavy as you're going to get when it comes to Evil Eye, right? We got a special summon pop, we got a quick play monster negate, we got two yoinks off of our Divisor King. We even have a counter trap to keep everything in line, right? Totally unbreakable board. What could you possibly do about it? Well, Cosmic Cyclone on Retribution kind of hurts. That kind of hurts, but that's okay. That's just one of our many interruptions. So let's see if they can play through the rest. We're going to go Selene here, as well as Gorgiano. Alright, both cards going to activate. One is going to inflict 500... Oh, they're both, sorry, the same card. Battle phase. Evenly matched. That's a problem. So we go Ballistrous, because I don't know, there was no real point in going for anything other than this. We just leave ourselves a Machine X. Machine X is going to suck up the Ariana, at least. We're going to detach 2. We're going to suck up that Ariana. Get over here. And... it's still going to resolve, though. It still searches for the Big Welcome Labyrinth, the Royal Rare Big Welcome Labyrinth. Is this Vivan from the tournament? What the hell's going on here? Why has everyone got a royal version of this card? We're going to go Cosmic Cyclone. Unfortunately, we are forced to use Cosmic Cyclone on the trap card here. Otherwise, he would wait and use its effects during the battle phase, and we would suck, right? Because, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure we have a card that was main phase only here. I can't remember specifically which one it is. We're going to go Machine X, swinging in 3k to the face. Our opponent just takes it. They don't play any of their cards, and rightfully so. It was tactics. We wanted to trigger tactics, is what we wanted to do. That's what it was. It's been a minute since I actually had these games. They're going to normal summon the Ariana. Ariana gets searching into the battle phase, crashing the lady, destroying both. Swinging 16 to the face here as well. And it doesn't leave us in a great spot. They're going to set a card to get way too much advantage. We're going to draw into Evil Eyes Unleashed. Now, that is a hell of a top deck. We're going to activate it here, sending 2 to grab ourselves Gorgiano. Unfortunately, we didn't have any copies of anything useful left. It was our only searchable card. There you go. Sometimes you just can't out-advantage Labyrinth, and it happens. Yeah, but again, it was a pretty decent showing of the full sort of combo board potential. It's also showing that sometimes combos and boards aren't the way. Sometimes you just need to take a chill, play a slower approach, and see if that works out for you. But either way, that was the game. Let's get into the deck profile. Now, I'll be the first to admit that not all of the plays shown in that video were totally the best plays possible, right? And like I said at the beginning, that's because I was rather new to the strategy at the time. But I feel like, again, you pick it up pretty quickly. The deck really isn't that complicated, and I wanted to show off a little bit of the learning journey for those of us who haven't played Evil Eye before. But once you get the hang of it, it's really not that tough. And we are going to be going through a ranked version of this deck tomorrow, which has a couple of different sort of tech cards and things you can put in, obviously, with, you know, the full access to all monsters. But it's not, like, a ton different. It's still fairly similar in how it works. So the Evil Eye package itself is pretty small. We played pretty much every big card we could, other than, of course, the Evil Eye cards. So we'll cover those off briefly. Monster Reborn was strictly optional. Monster Reborn isn't really that good in this deck because Serziel only activates its effect on normal summon. It's still nice to be able to bring an Evil Eye monster back, of course, but it's definitely not core. Double Lightning Storm, double triple, Tactics, Talents, just both really good board breakers. We've got double Cosmic Cyclone because Labyrinth is everywhere. We got Evenly Matched because it's really good. We got Imperm because it's really good. And these two cards, I would kind of say are core. You can drop them, but they're both really good. Although you don't need all of these trap cards. I think this card is kind of ass. I'm not gonna lie. This card's pretty bad. I think I would probably drop this. So, and then leave it like this. So there's 14 cards. It's up to you what you want to fill those slots with. If you're even watching this while the tournament is still live, this is just the event-specific version of it. So there's 14 slots. Do whatever you want. If you've got really good cards or text or whatever you want to put in, I would honestly, in hindsight, would recommend 3 Basilius. I really would. Because your deck doesn't have a ton of starters, and Basilius can act as a sort of one-card starter, right? So let's get going. So let's talk about the Evil Eye monsters themselves, starting with Cerzeal. This guy is your pseudo boss monster for the deck. On normal summon, you'll get to grab any Evil Eye card from deck to hand, of course, except himself, of course. Once per turn, while equipped with the Eye of Selene, he can target a special summon monster your opponent controls and destroy it, but during the next standby phase, you must destroy one card you control. Pretty straightforward stuff. He has an interruption, normal summon search, pretty good stuff. The whole deck sort of revolves around this Evil Eye of Selene that you'll see mentioned in several cards' text. Evil Eye of Selene being a really powerful card. We have then Medusa, Watcher of the Evil Eye here. This card with normal summon targets an Evil Eye card in your graveyard and adds it back to hand, so it's sort of like the opposite of Cerzeal, graveyard to hand. If it's equipped with Evil Eye of Selene, target a monster in your opponent's graveyard and banish it. As a quick effect, banish. Not terrible. Definitely not as good as Cerzeal, but it is definitely solid at least. Of course, during the standby phase of the next turn, you have to banish a card from your own graveyard. That's sort of the common theme. It's paying the price for what you do, reaping what you sow, if you will. So those are the 2 pseudo boss monsters of the main deck. And then you've got your familiars. So we play 3 copies of Basilitrus. Basilitrus will special summon itself quick play from hand or graveyard so long as you control another Evil Eye monster, and during your opponent's turn you can immediately link summon an Evil Eye monster using monsters you control, as well as Evil Eye equip spells as a link material. So you can actually use your equip spells as link material. So this guy plus 1 monster equipped with an equip spell gives you access to your link 3 boss monster, Cerzeal, Ruler of the Evil Eyed. So that's pretty damn solid, considering it is a quick play card and it is so powerful. We play it at 3. Even apart from its ability to obviously link summon during your opponent's turn, it's an easy extender into the likes of the Triple D Stone King Darius. You've got Basilius, Familiar of the Evil Eye. Basilius will special summon itself from a hand so long as you control an Evil Eye monster, and during your main phase you can activate its effect to send an Evil Eye spell or trap from deck to graveyard. Now that is most useful alongside the Evil Eye of Gorgonio. Gorgonio? This word is going to be the death of me. But this card basically has an effect in the grave, which we're going to come to in a moment. So Basilius, because he can sort of start your plays by sending this to the graveyard, Gorgonio, I would definitely recommend playing it at 3. It is, of course, also a level 3 extender, which will special summon itself for free from hand, which means it works with Basilitrus, as well as our last monster here, and I'm going to try and pronounce that one. But it's a nice extender, right, is what I'm trying to say. If I could say things in less words, instead of muddling everything up. And lastly, of course, we have our last familiar, Cat, I call him, because I don't want to, like, summon a demon by trying to say that name. You can target an Evil Eye spell or trap card you control until the end of the next turn. It cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. It's kind of mid effect, it's kind of decent, and protecting your Selene. Its main effect is that it comes back from the graveyard while it's in the graveyard, so it just makes it an extra extender. So that comes into effect with your Evil Eyes Unleashed. Evil Eyes Unleashed sends a monster as well as an Evil Eye spell or trap card from the deck to the graveyard as cost, which means if you already have the likes of Basilitrus in your at your disposal, it just gives you an additional target to send, an additional useful target in grave for the likes of Foolish Burial. So yeah, ultimately Evil Eyes Unleashed is pretty solid, making this card usable. So that's the monsters. Like I said, there's not that many of them, especially in this festival, but even the ranked version doesn't really play that many more. We're going to talk about the spells and traps as we go along here. So we've got Foolish Burial and Foolish Burial Goods. Both Cat and Basilitrus will summon themselves from the graveyard, which makes them good Foolish Burial targets, giving you additional sort of extenders. So Foolish Burial is very solid. Foolish Burial Goods just helps you make more use of your Gorgonio in a pinch. Of course, Foolish Burial Goods isn't all that because you can already send this card to the graveyard so easily, so it's not like core or anything like that, but it can help unbrick certain hands. Evil Eye Awakening, special summon an Evil Eye monster from your hand or graveyard, or if you have Evil Eye of Selene on your field, you can special summon one from deck instead. Really solid card, nice search target. Wouldn't play it at more than one, but it is decent. Pot of Prosperity, to search the top 6 cards of your deck. You don't really rely a ton on your extra deck, so you can afford to drop a few cards. Evil Eyes Unleashed, we've talked about this card a few times already. This card is absolutely busted. Send an Evil Eye monster and spell or trap card from your deck to the graveyard to grab an equip spell from the deck. It can also banish itself from the grave to equip an Evil Eye equip spell onto one of your Evil Eye monsters whenever you link summon it. So it's really good because, again, remember, Basilitress is going to try and link summon during your opponent's turn. So if you do that during your opponent's turn, all of your monsters only gain effects when they're equipped with the Evil Eye of Selene. So the idea is after Basilitress link summons during their turn into Zerziel, the effect of Evil Eyes Unleashed in the graveyard will activate to banish and equip your Zerziel with the Evil Eye of Selene, thus making all of his effects active. That's the idea. If you didn't quite get that, that's fine. It doesn't come up a ton. It is a solid play, but it definitely doesn't come up every game. Most games you're sort of just relying on your main deck more than anything else, but it is definitely a very good play to keep track of. Then we've got our equip spells. Selene, basically, while equipped to an Evil Eye, makes that Evil Eye immune to battle destruction, targeting, and effect destruction, which makes it super hard to deal with. It also permanently boosts the attack point of your monster every time you activate the equipped monster's effect, or if you activate another Evil Eye spell or trap card. So basically, you'll just continually boost up your monster by 500 attack points every time you use another card, which is pretty damn solid. You can also resurface it from the graveyard by paying 1,000 life points, banishing another Evil Eye spell or trap card, then set it onto the field. Every time I go to say Evil Eye, I trip over it. I don't know what's wrong with me today. The show must go on. But this card basically recycles itself back from the graveyard whenever it's been destroyed. You can even mill it and then activate it again from the graveyard off of that, which is what makes Foolish Burial Goods decent, alongside, of course, our next equip spell, which is Gorgonio. Its name changes to the Evil Eye of Selene while in the spell and trap card zone, so this card also procs all of your effects for your monsters. But it has a different effect, basically. Instead of making your monsters immune to destruction and targeting and all of that, what it instead does is, while your life points are lower than your opponent's, your equipped monster gains attack equal to the difference. So it basically just makes your monster huge, which is, important for a tower, right? What use is your monster being immune to all sort of targeting and destruction if it's got 1600 attack, right? Gotta make that thing big, and that's where this card comes in. It does also have a more useful graveyard effect where you can banish it from the grave to discard an Evil Eye card to grab any Evil Eye spell or trap card and add it straight to the hand. Now that effect is significantly more useful than the boost, but you can't ignore the fact that summoning a big monster helps, right? So definitely, we play 2 of each. 2 of each is more than good enough. The field spell. The field spell has a whole bunch of text on it. Its main use, as far as I've seen, is just adding an Evil Eye monster from deck to hand on activation, which is solid. Once per turn, if your Evil Eye monster is attacked while you have Evil Eye Selene, you can make the battle damage you take inflicted to your opponent as well, so it's got that sort of fake magic cylinders type effect. If this card in the field zone is destroyed, you can target an Evil Eye in your grave and add it back to hand. Now that part mostly comes in, remember, after you activate Zerziel, you have to destroy a card in your field during your next standby phase, so popping your field spell gives you an additional extender. Pretty solid. And lastly is the 2 trap cards. We've got Evil Eye Defeat, which will bounce 1 or 2 monsters from your opponent's field back to the hand, depending on whether or not you have the Evil Eye Selene. This card's pretty awesome. As well as Evil Eye Retribution, which is basically an Omni Negate. Counter trap. Sorry, it's just spell a trap card negate. It doesn't negate monsters. But yeah, searchable negate. Why wouldn't you play it? It's pretty awesome. And that's the main deck. It's really not that complicated. I feel like I'm not explaining this very well today, but the main deck really isn't all that complex. Play it for a few games, you'll understand it. It really is that simple. Into the extra deck. The extra deck is mostly filler, I'm gonna be honest. The only cards we really played, like, let me strip this down. We didn't play any of you dorks. didn't play you, didn't play any of you. This is the extra deck that we played. This is it. And we very rarely went in the second one of this. You could get away with one of this for sure. And this is the extra deck that we played. The rest of it is totally optional and entirely up to you. So Darius is here literally just to summon the Divisor King. Basically, he's just summonable off of 2 level 3 fiends, which all of your familiars are. Then this guy can instantly summon himself on top of another triple D monster. And because this guy's an Exceed monster, it means your Machine X is going to have 3 materials on summon, which is awesome considering his effect. So his effect is that whenever your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, once per chain, not once per turn, once per chain, you can detach 2 materials to steal that monster and equip it onto this guy as material. Now, because he'll have 3 materials by default, that means you can use this effect twice, because you will detach 2 to steal their monster. Well, you went from 3 materials to 1 after you detached your 2. You stole their monster, now you've got 2 materials again. That's just enough to detach once more. So that means you basically get to steal 2 of their monsters, which is non-targeting, non-destruction, non-banishment, non-removal. You just yoink it, and it's out of play. So really solid. Divisor King is absolutely amazing. One of the better plays in the deck, if I'm being honest. This guy is definitely the most commonly summoned extra deck monster, as far as, maybe it's just the way that I'm playing it, but I love this guy in this deck. He is so solid. We've got Gorgon. Gorgon basically gets bigger for every Evil Eye card with different name in the grave. It's not really all that big. It's not going to get all that big. If it's equipped with an Evil Eye of Selene, you can target an effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects. It's a quick effect, so it's a quick effect once per turn, negate. And once per turn during the next standby phase, destroy a monster that this card points to. Pretty straightforward stuff. And this card is basically similar in the fact that it's just an evolved version of its smaller self. If your monster happens to have 2600 or more attack points when it was used as material for this card, he can attack twice during each battle phase, which is a nice little effect. It's not too tough to get your Surzeal over 2600 with the Eye of Selene, so, you know, it's fine. It happens often enough to be neat, but it's not really core. The main thing is this next bit. If it's equipped with the Evil Eye of Selene, you can target a card your opponent controls and destroy it, but during the next standby phase, you'll negate the effect of a monster that this card currently points to. So essentially, you're just boosting up your cards. And this effect here, where it activates during the standby phase to negate a card it points to, don't forget, as well as the effects of Surzeal and Medusa, all of those will trigger an equipped Evil Eye of Selene to boost up by 500. Don't forget that, that's pretty damn important. And the rest of the extra deck, as you can imagine, is literally just whatever the game will let me get away with. All of these monsters are totally optional. Play what you have, don't play what you don't break your back over it. It really is super customizable. I'm not going to bring you through each one because they're all very generic cards. But there you go. Again, I'm not going to ramble on here. I'm not going to pretend to be a master of the deck either, but it really isn't that tough once you get the hang of it. And I will be having another video on this deck very soon, except a ranked version. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested in Evil Eye. If you have any tips, pointers, any suggestions, anything like that at all you want to throw my way that you want to see featured in future videos, absolutely let me know in the comments down below and I will have a look at it, because I'm open to playing this deck more. It's a very chill deck. It's really not that stressful. It's really not that complex, and I enjoy playing it. And we were able to climb through Diamond pretty handily with it as well, so it's definitely got some sort of viability. So we'll have to see it a little bit more on the channel as we go. But that is everything from me for now. Subscribe if you are new and you haven't subscribed already. Like I said, it doesn't cost you anything, and every little bit of support really does mean a lot, so I would appreciate it. And like the video if you've gotten this far. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.